All right. So, hey, Ryan. My name's Jeff, and I'll be taking care of you today. It says on your referral that you are having low back pain. So, can you tell me why you came in today and how I can help you with your back?
The back's hurting, and I'm really not sure whether it's going to be exercise or something that's really going to help me. But I have to do something. It's crazy.
Wow, it sounds like your back's really hurting and you
Mhm.
really want to do something. Um, I'm just wondering whether, and you're really wondering whether kind of exercise will help. But what other thoughts are you having about your back? It sounds like you're kind of worried a little bit and thinking
Well,
about.
I don't know if this is your deal or anything. I've just heard a lot about back problems, and my age, and I really don't want to end up like my dad.
Well, tell me more. What's happened with your father?
He actually had back pain when he was younger. I mean, younger than I am, at least. I guess I'm getting kind of old, but yeah, he ended up in a wheelchair. He had arthritis in his back, whatever that means, and I think that's probably what's happening with me. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I don't know, but I guess that's why I'm here.
That must have been hard for you to see your father like that, witness all that. You must have been having a lot of thoughts about ending up like him now. Boy, that really makes sense that you're worried some about
Yeah,
what might happen.
yeah.
Well,
Hmm.
before we start, I want you to know, or can I share with you a little bit about low back pain and how it you know transcends from an older person to a younger person.
Yeah, yeah, I think I'd love to hear that.
Well, I think this is good news for you. It's like there really isn't a genetic transference of low back pain. It's like back pain doesn't usually, just because an older relative had low back pain doesn't mean you're going to have it.
Okay.
And essentially, we can talk more about that because we have to kind of find out more about your back problem. But
Mhm.
just to start off with, it's not genetic.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and
Well,
do you
that's good.
understand what that means? You know what
Yeah,
genetic?
I mean, kind of like it's not like because my dad has receding hair, I get it or something, right?
Right,
Okay.
right, right.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So just to be clear, so what happened to your father doesn't have to happen to you.
Cool. Okay. That's a little bit of a relief. I'm in.
Good. All right. Well, that gets us started, right? So, do you have
Okay.
any other thoughts or concerns before we just kind of get started with like checking you out in your back?
No, I'd love to get checked out. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let me know if you think of anything. All right. So determine how we can help you today. I'm going to ask you about your how you hurt yourself, get an idea of how you manage your back, and then I'll check some of your movements and we'll both learn about your back together.
Cool.
How's that sound?
That's cool. That's good. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So first, just tell me the story as to how your back pain got started.
Okay. Excuse me. um, well, it was only like 2 weeks ago. I went to pick up a futon. And I just felt something weird in my back. And I mean, I've had some other back stuff when I was younger, but it's like it clunks and hurts when I move. And I don't know. It was surprising because I mean I've been really active lately, and I've been you know um, I'm 47, but I've been feeling 25 still. So yeah, it was surprising.
Well, so it just happened recently, and
Mhm.
you heard this clunk, which wasn't something you're used to,
Yeah,
and you're really kind of surprised that it's like clunking and it hurts a lot. So you're kind of it's really you're really thinking about it and wondering what's going on.
yeah.
So how are you managing, and what kinds of things are you doing to cope?
Well, I don't know if I'd even call it coping. I'm not letting it stop me at all. I'm out walking. I'm out moving, right? And I did stop going to the gym. It's kind of bummer, but I think when I bend over, there's sometimes well usually there's pain, and so I didn't want to overdo that or anything, and but I think it's really bending over when I notice it the most.
So it sounds like the clunk and bending are really the key things, and so
Hmm.
um, that's when you have your pain. It'll tell me more about when that's occurring and what you're doing to kind of manage when you're doing different things that you bend.
um I think it could be like simple things like getting out of bed, like or I see something on the floor and I just reach over to pick up. Then I'm like, oh, I got to do that weird knee thing, right? Where I just keep it straight or whatever. Um, yeah, that makes me feel old too. Like it's just worrisome, like I'm not sure what to do, which is why I was thinking, well, maybe I just need to exercise, but I'm kind of still working out. So I don't, yeah. Yeah.
So it sounds kind of confusing because basically you're able to do some things, but it really just is this one kind of movement, which it sounds like transitioning maybe from one position to another. Is that right? And that's when you're kind of bending, and like what kind of bending things kind of bring it on? Like, are they deep bendings or shallow bendings? Like,
I don't know. It's weird because I can lift my groceries, I can carry some heavy stuff around the garage, and it seems fine. But then it's more bending down pretty far, and then that's when I get the clunk and the pain. I'm like, oh shoot, and it's yeah. But I think yeah.
So summing up, you really have only the pain and clunk when you're bending. The pain is intermittent and only occurring in your back, not bothering your sleeping or sitting. When you have the clunk and pain, you can bend at your knees to get upright. You can also carry pretty well things without difficulty, like groceries and things like that. So mostly you're functioning well, except for the bending, which is worrisome. So you connected this with your father's disability.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that, and I guess sometimes like if I slouch too much, kind of like this, I feel the pain a little bit. And so I'm just being a little careful how I sit. But yeah, sleeping's fine. I guess sitting and bending, yeah.
Okay, so just to rehash, so it's like it's not just bending. So sometimes sitting also kind of starts to bother you unless you're kind of sitting straight.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
Like with a good backrest like this. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right, and then but other than that, it still seems like your other things are fine, including sleeping.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on what's causing it? Like, it sounds like a clunk might make you think about a lot of things. So it's like, how are you connecting the clunk with different, reasons your back might be hurting you?
I don't know. Like, could it be that there's something dislodged in my back? Or something's out of place. I don't really know what that means, but, and then, yeah, I'm thinking about, my dad having arthritis, and I really thought that was a finger thing, but I know what he was into and it didn't look good. So, I mean, is that all related?
Well, your arthritis is something that happens later. So you're pretty young for that. Okay. So probably not arthritis. So that's a direct question. So, but the dislodging and things like that, there can be, essentially a sprain of the back can cause some instability, and, that can be controlled by muscles. So the good news is, there could be some, kind of progress with exercise, for something like that.
Okay.
Right. So, but it does sound like you have a lot of ideas about what might be causing your pain. So we can address some of those like we just were, and your functioning is good, except for bending and sitting. So, let's start thinking about what exercises you can do and how we can move on with your other parts of our assessment. So any other things you want to share with me?